I have been sabotaging myself in my business. And I've been sabotaging myself subconsciously, meaning it's been outside of my awareness. And I came into awareness of it a couple of days ago because I was feeling bad. And when I say feeling bad, I mean I was feeling like something was wrong. Something was wrong in my body. I felt like I was disassociating, and it had been going on for a couple of days where I just felt like something is wrong. Something is off with me. And so then I had a hypochondriac moment and I thought that I was dying, naturally. My first thought was I need to go to the emergency room because I'm clearly dying soon. So I had a moment where I was just like, it was weird how I was in my body. I wasn't present. I wasn't grounded. I just felt out of it. I felt like, kind of like, when you smoke pot and you experience kind of like a head change, or maybe you drink alcohol or whatever the hell it is that you do. You can just kind of experience like a head change. Like, I'm not sober. Okay. So I kind of was having a moment where I felt like I wasn't sober, but I wasn't drinking and I wasn't smoking. So I knew that I had not done anything. There was something wrong. And so I noticed it for like a day and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Am I disassociating? I don't feel safe. Like, what's happening? And then I get to like the second day of it. I'm like, I really don't understand what's going on. And then I think it was the third day that I'm sitting outside and I'm doing my skating because I've been skating for at least 20 minutes every single day. And I'm sitting outside and I have my skates on and I'm just like, I'm feeling so bad. Like, feeling weird in my body. I don't understand what's going on and it's freaking me out. Do I need to go to the hospital? Like, what's happening? What's going on? And so I'm sitting there and I'm praying and I am just becoming open. I'm like, okay, whatever this is, we need to handle it now. Like, I literally had to stop my skating timer before I even could get up to skate. I was just like, we need to get to the bottom of this. So I sat and I prayed and I kind of meditated and I just breathed and I allowed feelings and emotions to come up within me. And the feelings and emotions that came up within me were fear. It was like, I'm growing and expanding. I'm reaching my next level in my business, in my romantic life, in everything. I'm reaching my next level and I'm freaking out and I feel so unsafe right now and I feel so scared right now. And so I'm like calling on my guides and my angels and my ancestors and God, and I'm just like, okay, like, I just need you guys to like be here. I thought there was something on my arm. I was like, what is that? Anyway, so I'm like calling on my guides and my angels and my ancestors. And I'm like, I need you guys to be here. Like, I need to feel your presence and I need you to help me calm the fuck down. So I'm like processing my emotions and my feelings. And first of all, before we even get further into that, this is a normal, natural consequence of growing and expanding and deliberately seeking out your next level. In my business, I'm creating exponential growth and expansion. And when you decide to go to your next level, whether it's in your relationship, like your love life, you're manifesting your soulmate, you're manifesting your next lover. If you're in my world, you're manifesting your soulmate. So I'll just say that. You're manifesting your soulmate, you're manifesting your next raise, your next promotion, you're ready to make more money, you want your next client, all of that stuff. When you're deciding to level up and go bigger, then everything inside of you, your energy, your beliefs, your thoughts, your fears, everything that is inside of you that's probably been doormat, meaning it's been going on subconsciously outside of your awareness, everything inside of you that has been dormant. Did I say doormat? Fuck it. Fuck it. I am trying to get through this because I want to leave this call and go swimming. So whatever comes out of me is what's going to come out of me. And that's going to be what this is. And that's what this series is, which I'm still explaining. But that's going to be the first episode anyway. So, like, we're right on track. So, when you're leveling up, all of your fears, all of your nightmares, everything inside of you that's not in alignment with where you're going, it has to come up to be cleared and released. And I was functioning at a level of success in my business, at a level of income in my business, at a level in my life. I was functioning with an insecurity, about my body. I was functioning while not allowing myself to be seen at a certain level. But my next level in business, my next level in my career, my next level in my platform is being seen. My next level in my platform is welcoming in, allowing in the hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people who I was born to serve and support. So as I've been committing to this, growing and expanding, last year I focused a lot on my relationship with money. Then towards the end of the year, I started really zeroing in and focusing back on my marketing, which I did focus on a lot last year. So I focused on money, I focused on marketing, I focused on creating systems that would support me in my business, really simplifying things. What do I want to do? What do I not want to do? Do I want to use Instagram like that? Do I want to focus on long form content like my podcast and YouTube? What's bringing me the most joy? What do I enjoy creating? What systems do I want to delegate out, and all of that stuff, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the back end. And now my next level of growth is allowing myself to be seen. And I can look back in hindsight and see what triggered this. My YouTube videos had started getting, like, a couple of my YouTube videos recently from like the last month have gotten like 200 views or something like that, or 300 views or whatever. And then my podcast got like spike in a whole bunch of downloads. So I got this boost of visibility and an increase in people, you know, checking out my content, my coaching content, and all that stuff, which is so good and so great. But that was next level being seen. And when I opened my thingamajiggy, what is that called? My like portal for my podcast, the people that give my podcast out. When I opened that and I saw that there was a huge spike in views, the first thing that happened, well, yes, I was super duper excited and like, oh my God, yay, like so happy that my people are finding me. And then after being excited, I was freaking out because I was like, that number's going to drop and that number's going to go drastically down, which is something that I also dealt with years ago, probably about almost 5 years ago now. I had a YouTube channel before this. I deleted it at like 23,000 subscribers. And one of my struggles with my first YouTube channel was me feeling afraid that my numbers would go down, people wouldn't watch, people wouldn't tune in. I think I don't know the most views I ever got, but I think for me, an average high number of views for a video was like 44,000 views. And then like the average my videos were getting was probably like 10,000 views. And I remember I wanted to start putting out different content. So I wanted to talk about astrology and I wanted to talk about, you know, coaching stuff. And then those videos were getting 1,000 views, which feels drastically lower than 44,000. And so at the time, with the mindset tools that I really did not have, I was developing them at the time, I felt like I'm failing. I'm losing. I'm supposed to be growing up and up, and nobody's watching this. Nobody wants what I have to offer. Nobody is watching me. And so that was a really big fear for me. You might call it imposter syndrome. My identity hadn't shifted, hitting an upper limit. There's a lot of different ways that you could describe what I experienced, but the long and the short of it is that I was freaking out about losing the amount of success that I had received. So, when I got that spike in views and downloads on my podcast, that fear came back up for me. That fear of losing the, please, that fear of losing my success had come back up for me. And it was interesting because my fear I used to have was, what if I lose everything and I'm going to be a complete failure? And I don't have that fear anymore because I know that this is my anointing and my success is guaranteed and all of that stuff. So it's like, that's good. But the fear of reaching a new height, reaching a new level of success, and then losing that or it dipping back down and that meaning something about me, that's still there and prevalent. I don't feel like I'm going to fail, but I had a fear that's been triggered recently of failing a little bit. I don't know. I've never titled it. But the point is that fear got triggered, and this disassociating moment came as a consequence of that fear being triggered. Okay. I can look at the story. I can look at the order of events that took place, and I can understand, oh, this fear around my next level of success and being seen was triggered when there was a spike in views and downloads of my podcast. Great. And the reason why this is relevant or important to the title of this video, which is me going on this self-confidence journey, is I really didn't want to be seen. I really didn't want to be seen. And I didn't plan this video, okay? I didn't plan this video, and I'd like to go swimming. I didn't plan this video, and I'd like to go swimming, but I knew that this needed to start. It needed to happen, and so I just needed to take action immediately and not put it off for another day. And I'm wearing my Beyonce Renaissance t-shirt. So this is as good a day as any for us to get into this. Okay. Let me just refocus my brain and refocus my thoughts. That's the background. That's the background of what inspired this. So I'm on the side of my house, getting ready to skate, praying, what's going on? There's something wrong. Help me to see this differently. Help me to see what's alive within me right now. And what I realized was alive within me was just a feeling of not being confident in myself. Not a feeling of not being confident in my mind, because I'm very confident in my mind, but a feeling of not being confident in my body, a feeling of not being confident in my appearance, a feeling of not being confident in my worthiness to be seen. And it was at that moment, as all of that was coming up within me and I'm processing all of this shit, I'm going, oh my God, I'm sabotaging my business. I've been sabotaging my business. I've been sabotaging my platform. I have not been wanting to be seen. I have not felt worthy of being seen. And this has to do with my body. This has to do with my physical body. And this story is very interesting, so I will tell it now. I became very confident in my physical body when I was in college. I was in college in New York City, which is in a whole bunch of the background stuff here. So I became more confident in my body when I was in college in New York City. That's because I was exercising every day, but not exercising deliberately. Just, you live in a city where you have to walk, 2 miles a day at least just to go to school. So I was constantly walking upstairs, subway, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly exercising physically, and I was really happy emotionally. So I was happy with myself, and I was happy with my life, and I was happy with my body because I had lost weight. I don't know how much weight I had lost. I just really liked my body. And this is relevant. This is all relevant backstory. So that way, in future episodes, we don't have to talk about why we're doing this or anything. This is like all of the backstory that you're ever gonna need. So I was in New York and I had a crush on this boy. And this was my freshman year of college. And I had a crush on this boy, and he would always go to the library. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because it's hilarious and it's adorable. So I had a job on campus, but there was one day where I didn't have a job and I wasn't working and I didn't have classes. So I went to the library just to look cute and adorable and be around this boy that I liked, which, like, I respect it. And so I'm in the library being cute and adorable, as I always am. And this young woman turns around in the library. She was sitting on like one of like the computers or something. And she turns around in the library and she says, "Are you having trouble in love?" And I'm like, "Bitch, please." Yes, but please don't say that so loudly because my husband is right there. And it's funny because it's not my future husband, and it was an embarrassing situation, very adorable. Anyway, so this psychic girl comes up to me and she's receiving messages from the universe or whatever. I don't know what the fuck she was receiving messages from because I didn't know anything about psychic gifts or talents at the time. But she's receiving these messages and she tells me that the reason why I'm having trouble in love is because I don't love myself. And that was like a light bulb moment. So after we had that conversation and ended up hanging out later that day because she was friends with one of my friends, that's kind of irrelevant. I go home. I had just done yoga, and that was the first time I ever did yoga. We went to this place, I think it's called Yoga to the People, and it's in the East Village, and it's on St. Mark's Place. And so we went there to Yoga to the People. I did yoga for the first time. I cried on the mat. I had this huge release that was so crazy. And then I went back home to my dorm in East Midtown Manhattan. And I like processed some stuff. I processed some like inner children stuff, past relationship stuff, loving myself stuff. And we really do have to shout out to that psychic lady because she was like, "I feel like you have psychic gifts too." And well, bitch, you were correct. So that happened. I go back home and I make this plan. I'm going to love myself. I make the plan to love myself. And at the time, I didn't really know what self-love was. I just knew that I was insecure about my body. So I was like, okay, love myself, love my body. Makes sense. So I created a plan and I created an experience where I started going to brunch every single Sunday with my friend. Her name is Michaela. I started going to brunch every single Sunday with my friend Michaela, and we would go to brunch and we would dress up very cutely and we would take pictures, and then the pictures that we took out of all like 60, 100 million pictures, I had to choose 3 pictures that I was going to post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I had to choose 3 pictures. I had to post the 3 pictures. Otherwise, I was going to be single for the rest of my life because I didn't love myself. I didn't know. There was no deadline. There was no reason. I made the decision, which is very interesting because at the time, well, no, I did have a crush on that guy and I did want to marry him. I'm sorry. We don't have time to talk about it. I'm being silly. I did have a crush on that guy, which kind of makes sense, but I wasn't really thinking about him when I was doing that. I just I guess, knew that I wanted to love myself and I knew that I wanted love. I don't even know where it came from. It was just something that I fucking did. It was just a choice that I make. I was like, I need to love myself. Like, say less. And that's what I did. So I remember going out to brunch with Michaela and we would take pictures. And the first time I wore these jeans, I wish I still had. I wish I still had these jeans. I don't know where the hell they are, but I wish I still had them. So I had these jeans and they were like so freaking cute. I think they were kind of like a boyfriend jean. I think they were like a boyfriend jean and they were like ripped. And I had on this shirt and it wasn't like a crazy outfit or anything, but it was like a tight fitting outfit that I had never like photographed myself in a tight fitting outfit before. And so we took the pictures and I remember looking at the pictures and I remember going, that's what my body looks like. And it was this moment that I had where I was like, oh my God, I was like, my body's so good. Like, my body's so beautiful. Like, what's going on here? And so then loving myself and loving my body became drastically easier for me from that moment forward. And I really did develop a lot of self-love at that time, meaning I was really liking myself and I was really liking the way that I looked, which is really good and really awesome. But that's not what self-love is. That is not what self-love is. I didn't know that at the time. No big deal. She was doing the best that she could with what she had. And honestly, she was doing great. She was doing great. So I'm loving myself, having a great time. And then the next year happens. I'm a sophomore in college. And then 2019 happens, which would be my second semester of college as a sophomore. And I decided to leave college because a million and one different things. One of those things being this business. Yeah. I left college because I knew that I wanted to be helping people. And I was helping people and I was making a difference and I was getting such positive feedback and I felt so good and I felt so happy. And when I first went away to college, I was pre-med and then I decided I didn't want to be pre-med. I wanted to do writing and I was just like, I'm not going to use any of these degrees and da-da-da-da-da. So I left college and there's a whole bunch of other like traumatizing stuff that happened as well, but we don't even have to talk about that. So I left college in the spring of 2019. And I started this business. Yay, snaps and claps. Like, this is really good stuff. The work is amazing. And my plan when I left college was to come back to California, stack up the dough, and move back to New York. And I came back from college and I came back to California and I don't even have the words to describe what happened. Entrepreneurship is owning your own business. I don't have the words to describe it. It was fucking crazy is what it was. I left college, came back to California, and all of my fears came up. All of my fears around adulthood, responsibility, business, taxes, taking care of myself, being able to make enough money. Will I be able to support myself through this? Will I continue getting views? Will I continue growing and expanding? I was doing readings for $25. I didn't feel good enough. I'm overcompensating in the readings. So people are paying me $25, but I'm doing a reading for an hour. And I'm making like $5,000 a month minimum, which feels really good to me at the time. But I'm making $5,000 a month doing $25 readings for an hour at a time. And it's not funny. It's not funny. It's sad. And I send love to that girl because she was burnt out. Burnt the fuck out. God, I was having a terrible time. So I'm freaking out about that. I'm freaking out because there was a whole bunch of trauma that I experienced in my college. I had like PTSD with New York City, which is a crime because I love the city. So it was just like the worst. long story short, my plans to come back to California and then go back to New York, that did not pan out. That is not what happened. I didn't have the capacity to go back to New York. I didn't have the belief in myself to take care of myself. I didn't have the belief in my business. I didn't know how to run a business. I was just posting videos on YouTube and I was making money, and it was so, so great. I had a vision. I knew how I wanted things to go. I did not know how I was going to execute any of that. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay. My past self, you know, she was young. And, you know, would I have made the same choices? Yes, actually. I would have. Because that environment was the absolute worst. The point is, I've learned a lot in the past 5 years about running a business and about marketing and about making money and about spirituality and about healing yourself. And that's all been lovely and great and good. But what is really, really relevant is that I came back to California, and within a couple of months, I realized I'm not going back to New York anytime soon. And then I started freaking the fuck out because I had lost all of this weight. I was living in New York. Don't know how much it was. I just could tell a difference in my body. But the really crappy thing about it is that I wasn't taking pictures of my body when I was in high school, and I wasn't wearing the kind of clothes when I was in I wasn't wearing the same kind of clothes that I was wearing in New York in high school. So the answer is, I don't know how much weight I lost. I don't know how drastically different it is. I can look at pictures from my high school graduation and I can go, wow, that was, yes, I did weigh significantly more. But also, when I was like 18 years old, I kind of had like a second puberty, you know what I mean? Because you're still growing and expanding and all that fun stuff. So it's like things changed. Like my face changed, and the way that I grew weight, yes, the way that I gained weight in my body changed. So it's not even right for me to compare. But the point is, I came back to California, realized I'm not moving back to New York, and I felt defeated. I had this defeatist mindset and attitude immediately because I was like, oh my God, I'm not in New York anymore. I'm going to gain so much weight. And if you followed me back in 2019, which a lot of you did, hi, you would have seen me in videos. Sometimes I would be live, and my computer was not this computer. It was a different computer. So that was the angle basically, but it was like underneath me. And I'm sitting here on live and I'm going, oh my God, my chin is growing and expanding so much. I'm developing such a huge double chin. Like, I was freaking out. I was freaking out about my body. And if you know anything about manifestation, you know that you get what you focus on. So I assumed that I was going to gain weight, which it's really important for us to have a conversation about identity. I never changed my identity. I never saw myself as a different person. I didn't see myself as a person who had a body that she loved. I saw myself as somebody who like won the lottery, who just so happened to get lucky to move to a walkable city, and I just so happened to lose weight. I didn't see myself as somebody who had a body that I loved. So I was back in this place, which also had so many traumatic memories for me from like high school and shit. So I was just like back in this place that I didn't want to be in, and this identity that I had never done anything with was being triggered, and I didn't know how to move through that. I didn't know how to shift that. I didn't know how to overcome that, so I didn't. And over the past 5 years, I have kind of gained and lost weight. My experience changed. My relationship with exercise changed. We'll talk about that in a second. Focus your mind. So, what's the reason why we're here today? I'm sitting on the side of my house the other day, And I'm realizing a part of me doesn't want to be seen. And a part of me doesn't want to be seen because I feel like my body's not good enough, because I feel like my body is not the body that I had when I was 19 years old, which is silly because, well, you really don't want that body. And it's also normal for bodies to grow and change and all of this stuff. But the point is, I've been hiding away because I've been feeling like I need to be smaller in order to be loved. Nobody's going to love me if I am too big, which is something that I was told again and again and again in my childhood experience, directly and indirectly. So thanks for that. So self-sabotage, not wanting to be seen. And I'm sitting there on the side of the house and I'm going, how can I shift this? How can I move through this? Who has a process that can take me through this? What should I even look up? And I think to myself, I should look up like plus size self-confidence, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't want to hear a skinny woman tell me about her self-confidence journey. I don't care. Nothing wrong with it. Not against the law. Love it for you. I can't fucking relate. I don't care. I'm not saying that you can't feel how you feel because of your body weight. I understand that we are all living out the natural consequences of our lived experience, blah, 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 blah. If I am going to go through a self-confidence journey of loving myself and accepting my body and just developing a better relationship with my body, period, then I'm going to follow a girl who looks like me, who's already doing that. So that came to mind, and that's why plus size has to be in the title of this series, because that's what I would look up, and so it's just good SEO, right? And the reason why I didn't just look it up was because I know how to do this. I've done this with money. I've done this with business. I've done this with my mindset. I've done this with my feelings of unworthiness in romantic relationships. I've done this. I know how to build confidence. I actually have an entire course on building confidence. So instead of watching a video, I decided to make the video. And I decided to document this process of me going through a self-love journey for the second time. And me going through the self-love journey for the second time is about creating a permanent solution, a permanent change. Not changing my body weight loss journey, even though there are weight loss aspects to it. It's not my number one desire. I'm not focusing on a number on a scale. Don't really care about the scale. Body's health is good. Outside of my hypochondriac anxieties that I experience occasionally, my body's health is very fabulous, and my body does a really good job of supporting me and taking care of me. And I like to eat well. I like to eat delicious food, period, point blank. I'm a foodie. So this is not going to be an experience where we're talking about cutting calories or cutting out sugar or different things like that, because I like sweets. What can I say? But I also love a good veg, and I also love a good green juice. So I'm creating an experience where there's more balance in my life, but that's not even the focus of this. The focus of this is creating an experience where I want to be seen, developing a relationship with myself where I have confidence in my own body, and I'm going to be documenting what that looks like for me. And I have just decided that this video can just be the introduction video where I tell you my backstory and I tell you my life experience. And then in episode 2 of the series, I will tell you what my steps are. And if you are on a self-confidence journey, no matter what your body type looks like, then maybe you will want to go on this journey with me, and maybe this will inspire you or whatever. Okay? I love you. And okay, what's my yes, what's my goal? What's my goal with this? My goal with this is to create an experience where I want to be seen by the world, because that's what you need. That's what you need. You have to like yourself and you have to like your body so that you can actually be put out there. More eyes on my business is more eyes on me. And if I'm hiding away because I don't think I'm good enough, or because of my face and my chin or whatever, then a part of me is always going to be saying, I don't want more eyes on me, and that's less money in my pocket, and that's less people being served by my incredibly powerful and needed work. So we have to show up, and we have to choose to develop confidence in ourselves. And in episode 2, I will be telling you how I am doing that for now. What are my first steps? Okay? Okay, that's my goal for this series. My current goal for my body is to grow and expand my butt, which honestly, she's doing pretty good. She's doing pretty good. I am doing for my butt. For my butt. I'm having a Pilates moment. I'm also roller skating and swimming, and these things are all good for the glutes. So, working on my butt. And okay, yes, this is a good thing to talk about as well. My body goals are not rooted in Western beauty standards, I want to say. They're not rooted in what anybody else thinks is beautiful. They're rooted in what I think is beautiful. I believe that bodies are vessels for creative self-expression. My body is a canvas. When you look at my body, you should know something about who I am as a person. And I do this through fashion, like my beautiful moon earrings. I do love the moon and the stars. I love astrology. And I do that through the clothes that I wear, like my Beyonce Renaissance t-shirt. I do love Beyonce, and I do love artistry. And I also do that through my body, through the shape of my body, through the way that I build and sculpt my body, whatever that looks like for me. It's a creative expression of my soul. So what is my soul? My heart and my soul has a big fat ass. That's my heart. That's my soul. That's a reflection of my inner being. Okay? So that's my goal. My goal is to have a bigger butt. My goal is also to have a slimmer waist, because I love a nice silhouette moment. Some insecurities that I'm working on with my body would be my body shape. I started falling in love with the way that I look from behind lately, which is really good because my back is gorgeous and I really think that my back rolls are beautiful. But this is not a part of the foundation. I'm just telling you about my goals, so we'll talk more about that later. But my goals right now, I really love my body from behind, but my body, how do I explain this? My belly, I think that my belly is one of the cutest things that have ever been created in life. I think it's good. I have what people describe as like an apron belly, which I just think is fabulous and lovely and amazing. So like, I think that the belly is good. The belly is delicious. The belly is wonderful. Like, we like the belly. The belly is good. But the sides of my body, the way that my body is created, is like, I love the way that my belly and my butt and my back all come together, but from the front, the sides of my belly, they do not form a smooth silhouette. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's been a really big insecurity for me for a long time, because I felt like my body had to look a certain way. I don't have a Coke bottle shaped body. My body is more heavy on the top because I have large breasts, which are fabulous, and really muscular, not small. I wouldn't describe my legs as slim. I would describe my legs as very muscular, and I just want to create an experience where I feel like there's a balance in my body, where I feel like there's a nice flow from my voluptuousness on the top of my body to the musculature. Is that a word? Is that the appropriate word? Of my thighs and my legs. Do you understand what I'm saying? I will include pictures at some point. There will be videos at some point. So you'll get it and you'll understand. But right now, my goal, my number one goal is a slimmer waist because I'm obsessed with it and it just makes me feel like the greatest version of me, and a bigger butt because that just makes me feel like the greatest version of me. And for the bigger butt, I am working out because my body does not gain fat on my butt. It just doesn't really happen in that way. So I have to put muscle there. Yeah, so it's like there's a weight loss portion, kind of. Not really my biggest focus. I have been loving my face a lot more lately and the roundness of my face because I've been understanding. There was a conversation online about buccal fat. Is it buccal fat? Buccal fat? I think it's buccal fat. Fat in the face, right here. And there have been certain people who have gotten a procedure done to remove this so that it's more slim. And personally, I really like my cheekbones and I like having that definition and all that good stuff. But around this conversation with the whole buccal fat removal thing, they've been talking about how as you age, your face loses fat and plumpness and all of that good stuff. And there's this woman. She's a white woman. She is a character on the show Bridgerton. That woman, she's a redheaded lady. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. She's literally on my... she's on my wall. She's on my phone screen. Right there. Oh! I have a million phone screens. It doesn't matter. The point is, she's fabulous and she's amazing and she's gorgeous. That woman is like in her late 30s. She might be in her early 40s or her very late 30s. And the character she's playing, I'm pretty sure is in her early 20s. That woman, I don't have words to describe how youthful she looks. And she is a plump woman. You would describe her as a plus size woman. I'm not a really big fan of the term plus size. I think it's okay. I feel neutral about it at best. You would describe her as a plus size woman. And her body just looks supple. And she just looks so young and youthful. And I'm really obsessed with youthfulness. So I'm liking the face roundness. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. It looks really good right now because I've been so physically active. I have an experience with my body, which I think we probably maybe all do. When I'm not physically active and exercising, my body will swell up instantly. So because I'm being more physically active, I'm having an experience where my body is more not inflamed and swollen. So fabulous. That's lovely. And yes, anything left in my backstory? Yes, my backstory. In business, things have been a little bit difficult with my body over the years because it's not that this is a fact with being an entrepreneur, but this has just been my belief system. I have been in a feast or famine cycle where I was feeling like I don't know if money is going to come in. I don't know where food is going to come from next. Just like that feeling of just being insecure around food and that level of stress, building a business, feeling like, what if my gifts don't get out there? What if people don't want it? These are not beliefs that I have today because I've been, doing the work to shift them. But before I developed the belief system that I have now, that I'm still strengthening, it was stressful and it was scary. So my body, having undergone that stress and that scariness and that scarcity, has kind of retained a little bit of weight. And it's really interesting because wearing the clothes that I hadn't been wearing for the past 5 years, I'm noticing now that my body hasn't changed as much as I thought that it did in my mind. In my mind, I thought, because I just assumed that I gained a tremendous amount of weight, but I did not. And even if I did gain a tremendous amount of weight, I would still be okay and I would still be worthy of love. But I'm just having this experience now where I'm recognizing, oh, my body is not everything that I thought that it was. And I'm trying to decide if I want to actually create another video or I just want to tell you the things that I want to tell you and just be done with this episode, because I'm ready to go swim. Okay, fine. Quick update. What have I been doing? What have I been creating? What have I been creating? What have I been doing at the beginning of this journey? First things first. Looking at my body naked in the mirror without judgment. I had an experience where, no, I think this should be a different video. Yes, cliffhanger. Leave them wanting more. Yes, I'm done. I hope that you enjoyed this video, this introduction. This is the plus size confidence building series. I don't know what the title of it is yet. I'm going to upload it to YouTube and then we'll decide. But I know that plus size has to be in it for the SEO, and I already explained that. If you want to follow along this journey, let me know. Those are my goals. I shared them already. And I'm done. I'm done talking now. Okay, goodbye.